Today, we are talking about X-Men 97, Season 2, Episode 4. So, Ken, this episode.
Yes, sir.
This episode. Bro, yeah.
Is that the best episode or is this the best episode? This show has what they call cultural impact, right? It's entered the zeitgeist.
Art direction, creative direction, storyboarding, animation, character design. Again, fantastic work. X-Men 97 is doing something that I appreciate, which it seems like it's taking in, it's being inspired by anime in a way that I really like. Hello and welcome to KRA-KOOM. I'm your host, Octavius Newman, and today we are talking about X-Men 97, Season 2, Episode 4. And with me on the show today is my co-host, Ken Sparks. How you doing, Ken?
Doing great, man. Happy to be here. Happy to talk about some peak X-Men activities. I'm really ready to get into this episode, man, because we got a lot to talk about.
We have a lot to talk about in internet. We're going to get right into it. So before we start, spoiler walls going up. If you have not seen X-Men 97, Season 2, Episode 1, 2, 3, or 4, no holds barred, spoilers going up. So after this, if you continue, you are okay with us discussing it. You are choosing this. You are picking this. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, spoilers. It's your fault. So, Ken, this episode.
Yes, sir.
This episode. Bro.
Let me tell you something.
I am moved, shall I say, at the least. Before I get started, I just want to do something. This episode was called Rise of Apocalypse, Part 2, directed by Chase Conley. He also directed Episode 1. Bro, spectacular work to the director. Spectacular. Yes. Needless to say, I like this episode of television. I like this episode of X-Men 97. Did you, Ken? Did this meet the Ken Sparks standard?
From beginning to the end, the momentum of the show or the episode was, whoa, hey, ho, whoa. Like it kept going until it ended. It just kept rising as the show went on. So yes, I love this episode. Yeah.
Bam. The entire time I'm literally sitting here like rocking back and forth, like kind of shifting around, moving my hands around. There's the opportune moments where I'm sitting here kind of just like, what's going on? I'm like, I love this show so much. I love what they're doing with X-Men 97. I cannot rave enough about how, and here's the other thing, Ken. I love talking to the homies about things that I like. I love having conversations with you. I love the group chat, but I have found a new community to talk about X-Men 97 with, Threads.
Yeah.
The Threads community. I am at Octavius, was here on Threads, by the way. You can holler at me on there. Ken, it could be Kenny on Threads. I've been having such a good time reading and watching and reposting and liking and commenting with the community on Threads. It's been amazing.
It's so much fun talking with people on Threads, seeing people's posts. Like one of the things that we don't have to get into it much, but this show has what they call cultural impact, right? It's entered the zeitgeist. We now have a new Kang meme that's going around. We have a new Apocalypse meme that's going around. Like, it's so good to have that, because when you have that, it means that you actually grabbed people's attention and people have seen themselves in your show and in your writing. In the thing, man. Like all the memes of Kang, you're like, all right, y'all be good.
All right, man. I'm sorry. What's taking place? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and holler at y'all. I'm going to be up out of here. Like, literally, there are moments in this episode that make you want to cry. Like, literally, I was moved to my eyes welling up. I was moved in moments where I'm like, get your asses out of there. What are you doing?
Yeah.
You know, like any good television show. Are you going to listen to what he's saying? He's going to do whatever you want to do. Like, so
Exactly.
I just cannot rave enough about the work that the X-Men 97 team is putting into this show. And if you're not watching this, and if you're past the spoiler wall, welcome. We're happy to have you. I just got to recommend. Go ahead and catch up. If you didn't watch season 1, I don't know about X-Men. You don't need to know about X-Men all the way like that. You can watch season 1. I don't know all the details. I'm not a comic book person. It's still cool. Join us in enjoying this thing. I'm telling you, this is a recommendation I highly want to lift up there. Y'all should be watching the show if you're not.
Absolutely. I agree with you. There's not a high barrier to entry or anything of that nature. And one of the other things I want to point out, we talked about a little bit about cultural impact. Here's how you know when the show grabs you. You start talking to the characters and you call them by name. Magnus, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Right.
Will somebody listen to Bishop, please?
Yes.
Charles, look at the wall.
We got Charles. We got Hank. We got Kurt. We got Rogue.
Right.
We got, you know what I mean? And these characters have like superhero names, but that really means a lot when you're calling them by their like the name, the government name, the name their mama call them. That's character development. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
Some of the moments that. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Ken.
Yeah, you see the same thing with people's relationship with the MCU. We don't call Steve.
Yeah.
We can call him Cap, but a lot of us call him just Steve. What is Steve doing? Like, or what is Tony? Like, we get to the point where it's almost like we have a relationship with these characters, whereas like we know each and every character, how they act, why they act that way, and when they are acting out of pocket according to how they've been acting thus far. So, yeah, man. It's good because that means that you have detail. That means that you've told us who everybody is, and we're not confused about who would do something, right? So I think that's a testament to the team, like you said.
Couple things. Let's start out with my man Bishop.
Yeah,
we are on the scene. You know, Ramatut has done the explosion, and the episode opens up, and we see Big Noor, Nsaba Noor with his OG. The OG has passed. You know what I mean? Didn't get to save him. Magneto is there with the X-Men. He's able to create a bubble around all of his crew, which makes sense. So we got Magnus. We got Hank. We got Rogue, or Hank, Beast for the uninitiated. We got Rogue. We got Nightcrawler. We got Charles Xavier. We got Bishop. Did I get everybody?
Yeah. I think that is everybody,
Yeah, we got everybody. And Nsaba Noor is pissed. He is angry.
Right.
Like, and understandably so from his point of view. Do you agree? Does it make sense why he's angry?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Because all we've been doing this entire time is giving him half-truths. And every time he finds out the other half of the half-truth,
he's pissed.
Stall, try to like keep him at bay, and then give him another half-truth that he discovers the next time. And eventually, of course, he's going to get sick of it.
Right. He's sick of it. And he's angry. And somehow Charles is able to talk him down. Okay?
Right.
And they decide, look, okay, he's going to give him some words, going to have a conversation. So the part I want to get to is when Bishop is like, I think I wrote down Bishop's statement. Here's what he says. He goes, "How did I get stuck playing chaperone to a bunch of martyrs who try using the worst mutant ever to rewrite the whole damn timeline?" Like Bishop is like, if y'all don't get y'all asses out of here, I'm trying to tell you something. And they're having this whole conversation. Hank McCoy is like, perhaps we should do a vote. And Kurt's like, well, maybe we shouldn't be messing with time like this. And Rogue is like, well, maybe we could possibly get Remy. Like, you know what I mean? Everybody's got their different POV on how to handle this. And I like that. I like the fact that they've got this conversation. But I thought it was so funny that Bishop was like, 1 + 1 is 2, people.
Yes.
We got to go. We have to leave.
We got to get out of here. Pack up. Because you know what happened? Bishop was hearing them saxophones. Bishop.
Hey, hey, through the timeline, Bishop understood what the situation was. He assessed it really quickly. He pulled up. He's like, I understand. Like when they had the issue in the beginning, in episode 3, Bishop was like, hey, I'm here. It's going sideways. It's time to go.
Right.
And of course, they all think they know better. They all think they understand. Oh, no, I got it. I can handle it. They don't got it.
I bet against their better judgment too, because here's the thing. If I'm Bishop, right, and I'm looking at this situation like from a macro perspective, every one of us has dealt with Apocalypse before. All of us know what he's about.
We know what time it is.
And we know what time is, right? So
yes.
we are all dealing with this situation in which we know what the end result is, but we're acting like we have the power to change it in any way, shape, or form. And not on top of that, and this is what we talked about this, I want to say our last episode about X-Men. If you change the timeline, let's say that you did happen to change N'Sabanor and make him a righteous person who served this community for eternity, right? Who's to say that doesn't spell out, that doesn't bring about, rather, a even worse situation? We've seen so many Days of Future Past situations where they changed it and it's worse, right? So, or they changed it and it remains the same. Like, it is what it's going to be, right? If you ever read, what is it, Powers of X, Powers of 10, and
House of X and Powers of 10.
Yeah, I think the end conclusion is it's going to be what it's going to be, right? We're not able to change this going forward.
Mm-hmm. And that's essentially what this episode is the episodes leading up have kind of been about, and what this episode is also about as well. Essentially, kind of being like, hey, Magnus believes I can do something about this. I can control this.
Right.
I can. Trust, no, I got it. To the point where he takes away the time bracelet from Bishop, which to me, I'm just like, damn, bro, you just going, I thought we were doing a vote. Magnus, I just voted. It's like, bro, that's
wild.
It's like, you wildin'. Like, in his mind, he's like, I mean well, but still what you're doing is out of pocket.
Right.
And to kind of move along to the next point that I thought was really interesting was where they actually end up on the ship. And they're trying to have this conversation, and N'Sabanor is able to go on the ship, and he kind of sees like, wait a minute, like, this is me. This is my future. This is all the things that are going to happen to me. And his point of view, I think, is like, oh, wait, y'all are trying to keep me from this? Y'all are trying to stop me from my destiny? And he does not take that well. What was your take on that? Like the way he responded to seeing the future or seeing the possibilities, and how Magnus and Charles, Magneto and Xavier and the rest of the X-Men responded to that situation?
The way everybody responded was so unique and brilliant, because it's the way that they would have responded. So when you have N'Sabanor walking in, and you see they don't hide it. They don't put it under like blur, like a
it's on the
screen.
wall.
It's on the wall. It's there.
Right.
So as a viewer, you see Apocalypse standing in the back with the big A on his belt. You're like, whoa, Apocalypse is right back there. They show you another view to the left. The whole X-Men is here, and then Apocalypse is at the top. And you like, somebody got to see this. I was like, Charles, look to the left. Like you got to see this, right?
Right.
They're listen, Octavius. They're on a ship's wall as art, as ornaments, as signs,
like
to the
hieroglyphics.
Future. Hieroglyphic, exactly. And if that's the case, this ship ain't from here. Number one, it's probably from the future. So you're looking at all this situation, and what does Professor X say? Magnus, you need to get in here right now. He's about to find out. Yeah, so Professor X recognized it immediately, and when he tries to talk to N'Sabanor, he's like, wait. N'Sabanor is like, something feels off. Like, I feel like I've been here before. It's like,
I think he said, you walk as though you've been here before. And he's like, I feel like I have. I feel like I have been here before.
Yeah. So when he's approaching his gigantic future head that he erects from the ground.
Right. Which again, I want to take a moment.
Yeah.
Art direction, creative direction, storyboarding, animation, character design. Again, Chase Conley, fantastic work. And I know it's not just him, he's the director, but he's a black man. I've been a fan of Chase for a minute. So when you have an opportunity to showcase like this level of craft, it's amazing. But when the mouth opened up, wow, and it kind of had that whole situation, X-Men 97 is doing something that I appreciate, which it seems like it's taking and it's being inspired by anime in a way that I really like. Did you pick up on any of that?
No, you tell me about it.
Well, it seems like some of the different poses and some of the different moments, some of the different some of the different moments that they use in the episode seem to be like the kind of exaggeration and the kind of depth in the character, in the facial expressions that come from what seems similar to anime.
Okay, gotcha. So you mean like Charles' expression when he is talking to Magnus with his mind, right? Bishop had a few expressions like that. Yeah, so
and I think Apocalypse, especially like when he finally turns and he has these big smiles on his face, or he's really expressing how he feels through his face. That stuff reminds me of some of those frames from anime. So I don't know for sure, but I know from seeing Chase's work, I think he's a fan of anime as well.
I think the interesting thing about, just as you mentioned, with Apocalypse smiling and having a different demeanor than Ensa Minor even had, because Ensa Minor was very serious. He transforms into Apocalypse and he becomes, I don't even want to call it arrogant, I'll call it confident. He knows that he always will be, right? That's something that he says later on in the show. It's like, I think he says to Charles, you will always be evil. And he says, but I will always be, which is insane.
Bars.
Right? I'm gonna be here though. I'm gonna be here though.
But I'm gonna be here though.
Right.
Where you gonna be at?
Yeah. Right. Exactly. But yeah, like one of the things I really appreciate, especially with the head opening and him walking towards it, is when Professor X tells his X-Men, "You got to stop him." It takes him about less than 10 seconds to stop him, and then he walks back in. It wasn't a prolonged battle or anything like that. I think he snapped Kurt's arm for a second, he threw Rogue over there, and he just walked in. It wasn't this prolonged thing like he's like dragging them in. It's like, no, this is it. I'm him, right? I'm Apocalypse. Let's go. So I really appreciated that part as well.
Yeah, and it looks like, so there's a moment where he essentially has to decide, are you going to take on this power? Are you going to choose this or not? Which is kind of a mirror back to Nathan Summers having a similar moment. Are you going to choose this or not? Right. And the same way Nathan goes, I'll do it. And Sabanur also goes, I'll do it. And what I believe the understanding is that's Ishan, Eson, E-S-O-N. Sorry if my pronunciation's off.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Celestial. So I think we're going to find out more about that later on. But he decides that he becomes Apocalypse and he decides to destroy the city. And what a moment to show him make that turn.
Right.
To fully go into his like destiny, because we've been having this destiny versus free will conversation. And it seemed like in that moment, part of what Nsabanur was doing was saying like, wait a minute, like you're trying to keep me from my destiny because you think you know better than me.
Exactly.
From his point of view now, I have been a slave. My people have been enslaved. I have been left for dead. I have been raised with this whole concept of survival of the fittest. He believes he's right. Yes. I don't think at this moment Nsabanur thinks, I will just, like, that's not what's going on.
Right.
He's going, who are you talking to?
Yeah.
Who are you talking to? You're telling me that from where you're from, y'all are mutants and y'all are not strong enough to fight for yourselves. And you're telling me that I should listen to you? You're telling me you're from the future
Mm-hmm.
And your conclusion is I'm the bad. Like you got from his point of view, I get it. Why he'd be like, "Nigga, no, what are you talking about? I'm taking the power." And y'all just go ahead. And y'all just killed my man's. Nah, bro. And you was hiding this from me? No.
Exactly. And to further that perspective, what happens when he does capture his oppressor? He knocks down the giant elephant thing. He's about to kill him. Magnus is like, no, don't kill him. Don't kill him. Don't kill the oppressor, the person who's been enslaving your people, killing your people left and right, so on and so forth. And then after that, his own man gets killed, and they've been telling him to have truths the whole time. He's done with it. Like it's and then I found out that you're trying to keep me from my destiny. So how are you different from them? I don't see any difference here. You're trying to be a master, just like they're trying to be my master. Nah, I'm not going for that.
Right. And it's a very interesting thing because it seems like at that moment, free will and destiny kind of converge. I don't know if this is intentional, but this is my read on it. It's like you are trying to tell me not to do this. Mm-hmm. You're trying to tell me my destiny is to be a bad guy, to be this horrible person, but you're telling me the alternative is to be a slave? Like, how about my free will is to move towards my destiny? And it seems like in those moments, that's kind of came together. And it seemed like the mirror to Nathan Summers, my choice and my free will are coming, my destiny and free will are coming together at the same time. However, what you do with that is still interesting because Cable, Nathan Summers, decides, it's funny because Nathan Summers kind of becomes Cable in that moment. And Nsabanur becomes Apocalypse in that moment.
Exactly.
So it'll be interesting to see how they come together. Now the thought is Cable then goes to become this type of savior, leader, soldier character. Apocalypse then decides everybody got to go.
Right.
Everybody everybody got to go. He goes to decide to destroy the whole city.
So when you talk about that, and we look at the prophecy from Mother Ascani was another person who attempted to control Nsabanur both in the past and the future, and just by sending the X-Men in the first place when they were about to perish, right? So she sends them, and she wants Nathan to become Cable. But also, if you can, a little side bonus, if you could stop Apocalypse on this end, that'd be great. And then he sends the other team back in the past. And they both fail in one way or another to stop Apocalypse from becoming who he's supposed to become. But what they do in both situations is that they ensure that both of them become who they are supposed to be, which tells me anytime I've watched a narrative like this, when you have two opposing characters, you kind of show their origin and their destiny. It tells me that at the end, at the pinnacle of this, the confrontation will happen and one will defeat the other. Right. So what I'm looking forward to in the future, going towards the future, is that final confrontation. Maybe it's not a final confrontation. Is that first, I should say, confrontation between the two destinies of Cable and Apocalypse? Because I think that this entire season is going to end up hinging on their choices because everybody around them is trying to tell them where to go. They're like, no, I'm not trying to rhyme. They're like, no. And then eventually I believe that they're going to come together.
Oh, what do you mean? What do you mean by come together?
Oh, no, not come together in union, but come together in, like, they're going to confront one another. Like, their destiny is to confront, because part of Mother Ascani's, is it Mother Ascani? Yeah, Mother Ascani's
I believe so.
prophecy is that Cable is born from the cradle of the ship of Apocalypse. So, wait, hold on. The ship in the first episode, where Cable gets his AI implanted in, right? Is that Apocalypse ship?
I think I don't know the answer 100%.
Okay.
I think that ship is before Apocalypse, but it also seems to be Apocalypse's ship, as we have seen in this episode where he then embraces the ship, takes off, and then he go on to destroy the city.
Yeah.
But it's not like
we've been here before.
Right. But that's not like Nsabanur created the ship. I don't think so. I think that's a celestial ship.
Okay.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah. So if all this is tying together, I see, like I've been saying, Cable and Apocalypse they're going to be the pinnacle, the linchpin of the season, which would be really interesting to see how the other characters kind of fall in line on one side or the other. At what point are they going to learn to accept fate, or is that even something that you should do, right? Because what does accept fate mean in this situation? Because right now, accept fate means let apocalypse become apocalypse. Now, Octavius, my question to you is:
Mm-hmm.
if you were sent back in time and you saw apocalypse about to become apocalypse, and you had the opportunity to stop it from happening because maybe your best friend Remy dies, maybe the future is enslaved and mutants are
Mm-hmm.
dwindling by the day, but you
Mm-hmm.
also have this idea that the present, the future will happen, right? Time will play out the way it's supposed to be. Do you sit there and just let it happen and take the ride with Bishop back, or do you try to do something? Like, where do you go in that situation?
I think that's such a great question because it's easy to criticize these characters from the
It really
comfort
is.
of your home.
Yeah,
It is
right,
easy to sit back and look and go, man, y'all should have listened to Bishop.
right.
And at the same time, last season we were like, Magneto was right. So I think that's what's
Mm-hmm.
great about this, but not to avoid the question. I'm thinking about who I am, the kind of person I am. I don't think that I'm going to be the kind of person who is this opportunity is in front of me and I don't do
Mm-hmm.
anything.
Yeah.
Now if I can try to speak to an insabonor, I will.
Mm-hmm.
But if I see that it's going sideways,
Very
if I see that
sideways.
it's going left,
Sitting
then
sideways.
I would probably go ahead and kind of cut my losses and say, hey, because I think that's what
Right.
Bishop did really early. Bishop
Yeah.
was like, yeah, no, I get it, but I
Yeah.
am making an assessment and I see that this,
This is not going well.
hey, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we got to cut our losses and get out of here. But I
Yeah.
think that's where we have to go from knowledge to understanding into wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
Bishop, because Magnus makes this point. He's like, Bishop, you have gone through and tried to make changes in your time to affect your future. Like he kind of has that moment with Bishop, and Bishop is
Mm-hmm.
quiet, but I think Bishop is like, nigga, that's not the same situation that's going on here. I wouldn't mess around with this situation you
Right.
got going on. There's
Yeah.
something else happening, right? This is
Mm-hmm.
not the same kind of scenario. And at a certain point, I think even Magnus goes, okay, you're right. Time to go. You know what I
Right.
mean? And they have
Yeah.
that moment where when it's going sideways, Bishop's like, we ready to go? And like, okay, cool. So everyone leaves except Charles and Magneto. And Magneto essentially says, hey, like I'm going to take a moment to actually try to make the change here. I'm going to look at a couple of quotes that I got from Magneto, that I was able
Yeah.
to collect as I was watching the episode. One of the things he said, dreams help us survive, perhaps even more than blades and arrows. Perhaps that is why I gladly play the devil who pushes sinners to embrace the saint. So what do you think of that take from Magneto? Do you buy? I mean, it's moving,
It is
but
moving.
do you buy it? Do you buy
First of
it?
all, I'm trying to figure out, like, is the is poetry 101 like a prerequisite in the Xavier
Hey,
School of Mutants, of the
hey,
Gifted? Because it just seems like everybody got a line on their brain at any
bars,
time, right? So
right?
I mean, and I think that is I think that is Magnus accepting the idea of destiny more so than trying to
Hmm.
convince others that he's doing this for a righteous reason. I think that Magnus kind of feels like,
Hmm.
so I recognize that the role that I play in this life is pushing you guys towards Xavier, pushing
Hmm.
mutants and humanity towards Xavier. I've played the villain. He said it more than once in this episode. I'll play
Right.
the villain here,
Yeah.
and
No
then
need. No
here,
need to speak
yeah,
of devils when I'm here, or something to that effect. Right.
exactly. So I think that Magnus understands or believes at one point that, oh, this is who I was meant to be. this is my role in this situation. And I don't know. I don't think
I
that
believe that he
absolves
believes it.
you. Yeah, I
I
believe
believe
that
that
he
he
believes
believes
it.
it.
Yeah, I don't think that that absolves you from your actions, but I do believe that that is a perspective to have for Magnus. So yeah, I don't think that he's BSing us and just trying to get away with something slick so he can get y'all back. Right? I think that he really does believe that.
Yeah. And I mean, I think in his actions he shows because he tries to save the city. And,
Right.
it seems like he is successful in doing so,
Mm-hmm.
but he has to pay a price. And then we get
Yes.
to, I think, what was one of the most powerful moments I've seen on animated television or an animated
Mm-hmm.
series that I can recall in a while. Especially Western animation, especially American animation. I think
Yeah.
anime does a really good job of creating these powerful emotional moments. But
Agreed.
when I think about a show like this, I was like, wow, this is really powerful what's happening here.
Yeah.
When Apocalypse stands there, again, Chase Conley directing that wide
Mm-hmm.
shot where Apocalypse is standing on one side and you see Xavier about this big, way small over here. That
Yeah.
contrast, the positioning where he's up higher and Xavier's lower, the shadow is being cast, that whoom, 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 them walking, just showing like, yo, there's nothing that you can do. Xavier crawling, Magnus, like there's nothing that he can do.
Right.
It is over, it seems. And
Yes.
for all of that talk that y'all were doing and all of this trying to solve and plan and like, let me explain to you where we're from and what time and why we're doing that shit is over with. It's over with.
It's a wrap. It's a wrap. Yeah. And I think that visual that you just explained is just a visualization of power, the power dynamic in that situation. Apocalypse is standing, not only is he physically bigger than him, but he's also standing at the top of the hill. He has, as they say in Star Wars or in other places, the high ground, right? He has the high ground. Charles is literally, you said it, but I want to emphasize, he's crawling. Yeah, obviously, it's because, he doesn't have use of his legs, but that's just
Right.
another, like, a show of that power dynamic.
Visual
He has to,
metaphor.
exactly.
Yes.
And who do you have in the middle? You have Magneto, who just spent himself. He's
Yeah.
done. Let's not blow past this, Octavius. This man closed a wormhole by himself with
Yeah.
magnetism.
Yeah.
Last season, he shut off the Earth.
Yeah.
This is who we're talking about.
Omega level mutant. Yes.
Yes. So he got pissed and was like, Earth is done. Like, right? Like, insane. So seeing the type of power that Magnus had after he spent himself, all because of Apocalypse. It was adjacent, but it was because of him because he chose to shoot at the city, right? So that's the
Right.
type of power that it took for Magnus to stop that. So you have this sliding scale of power dynamic here, and in the middle is I think the catalyst, another catalyst that is going that of this show where Magneto perishes, he dies, and that
Right.
visual when Apocalypse is picking him up, and you see, and the fact that they hold on it too,
Yeah.
they hold on it, they don't make
Yeah.
it fast, they also don't show you the gore of it, which I think would have taken away from the moment. I think it was more important to look at it through Charles's eyes because that is a relational impact. It's not as
Right.
important to, like, what do we care about what it looks like for Magneto to die? The
Yeah.
important thing is that Charles lost his friend in a situation that he believes is his fault, right? So, but you do get to see the glowing of the rib cage and the skeleton, and then they cut
Unbelievable.
away. It's
You see it
doom.
from the reflection
Yeah,
in Charles's eye.
yeah,
And when I think about it again, praising the directing, the storyboarding, the decisions, you see it, you don't see literally the gore because that's not the point.
it's not the point.
You feel Charles's pain. You imagine what that must have looked like to him.
Yeah.
And you see his reaction. I think a lot of times in filmmaking, it's not necessarily showing you what's happening. What's scarier sometimes is seeing how people are reacting to what is happening and the anticipation of the reveal. Showing the glow, the glow through Magnus's body is almost scarier and more horrifying than the actual splattering of this person all over the place. And just seeing him roll the helmet over to him.
Disrespectful.
And the most disrespectful thing is to walk up to Charles and put your boot on his forehead and say, "Only a coward." You know what did he say? Only a coward takes glory in stepping on an ant. And then walking past him, it's almost a worse. It's worse than killing him. It's killing your friend in front of you, and then putting my foot on your forehead and going, "I could kill you, but you're not even worth my time." And then walking away and allowing you to live with the pain of what you just saw and experienced. And you're stranded.
And not to mention that those are the exact same words that Magneto preached to Apocalypse in the very first episode, or the second episode, I believe. Last episode. The third episode. He preaches that exact same thing when he's about to kill his oppressor. And he spares Charles. And I don't even think it's a matter of sparing. I think it's a matter of
Belief system.
You're not worth it to me. I'm not intending on doing something and then deciding not to. You're just not worth it. You were never a consideration. You're never worth it in this situation. And that is worse than anything, because that once again, power dynamic, this shows you who you're dealing with. Because what's been happening at least 3 times in this episode, whether it was Kang the Conqueror, whether it was Apocalypse himself, or whether it was Ishan, 3 different people said, "You're inevitable. No one will be able to stop you. And it's a lost cause." And Charles comes to that conclusion at that moment: we can't stop it. This is over, right?
Yeah.
I think that I'm more excited for this show now, because now we have to see how they overcome the odds, right? Because I think I said yesterday when I was having a conversation that the good guys have to win, right? And then I think you said to me, like, do they? Right? So, you know
and who are the good guys?
And who are the good guys? Right. So when you have this show where you would want to believe that the good will prevail, and you constantly see that the bad or the undesirable situation is what's happening. How do you reconcile that? I found it really interesting, and we'll talk about the post-credit scene in a minute, because I found it really interesting, the palate cleanser that felt like after this episode.
Yeah, let's get into it.
But before we get into that, though, I do want to talk about Charles' response after Magnus dies. He basically said, "That's why your mom."
He said, "Your mama," is what he said.
Yeah, right. That's why she left you in the desert. That's wild, because at that point he had lost all of his class, his dignity. He was like, you know what? That's why she left your ass in the desert, and we should have left your ass in the desert too. And man, so who does Charles become after this? Does he become bitter and angry?
Good question.
You know, he's lost Magnus. He's lost Remy recently. He's been dealing with nothing but loss after coming
Rogue
back from space.
Now Rogue has lost Remy.
Oh my gosh!
And Magneto
and
Magnus.
Yeah.
Who I didn't even think about that until literally just now. Rogue got Rogue going through it.
Who I believe Magnus was more willing to try with Apocalypse because he saw the conversation that Rogue was having about maybe it's possible that we could bring Remy back. And I think that Magnus
Mm-hmm.
was interested in making Rogue feel good, feel safe because of the guilt that he felt for Genosha.
Mm-hmm.
Because all that went down at Genosha, and that's where that was the turning point of the season, really, of last season.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was it. After Gambit dies, sacrifices himself in one of the best episodes. Oh my god. I'm
Remember.
actually thinking like,
Yeah.
is that the best episode, or is this the best episode, or is the season finale of last season when Cyclops lets off? Like,
Yeah.
so many great episodes. I'm glad I have the ability to choose from. But yeah,
Right.
so yeah, but moving to that post credit scene, what are you thinking?
Right. Yeah. So post credit scene, it's interesting because we see Wolverine on top building, and then Cap shows up and he goes, "Smelled you coming from a mile away, Boy Scout." Kind of hits him with that thing, which it's the fact that that same guy is doing the voice of Wolverine, the same guy
It's
who
really
we've heard
cool.
in video games, the same guy who we've heard in like it does my nostalgic young 90s kid heart good. It feels good just to
Yeah.
hear Wolverine again. And
Same with
I'm looking
Storm.
forward to seeing, yeah. A lot of these characters,
Yeah.
it's something. It does something for me in a way that I appreciate. So that's dope. And we talked about that last episode. But I'll say, like the nostalgia just from hearing these voices from my childhood, it's like hanging out with old friends again. It's
Right.
like, oh,
Right.
yo, hey, what's up, man? Good to hear you again. Good to see you. Glad you're doing well.
Because
But
you know what's
yeah, so
interesting?
we see that. Go ahead, yeah.
What's interesting is that when I was a kid, this was like 90, well, obviously 95, 96.
3, I think.
Oh yeah, I think it did start 92. No, 93. You're right. I was 3 years old when it came out, right? And I was, I don't know, 6 when it ended, right? So I wasn't reading comic books. This was my X-Men. This was my iteration, my understanding of them. So this is where, and as a matter of fact, that was the Saturday morning cartoons of that day were the basis for all of my understanding of superheroes. The Spider-Man show, the Batman, the animated series. That's who I knew
Classic.
Batman and Spider-Man to be. And it's so
Yep.
interesting because a lot of that stuff is really faithful to who those characters are. So they did a great job of translating it. But
Yeah.
I love the fact that even if you didn't read a comic, and we talked about this in the beginning for people who were just trying to get into it, we didn't I was not at the age where I could read a comic and I was able to pick a lot of this stuff up. So still encouraging you guys, if you haven't read a comic, just watch it. If you made it this late into the show, I would hope that you would eventually watch the show yourself.
Yeah, and it seems like what's coming up next is the Wolverine story, where they hand him this folder and it says Weapon X on it, and he says he's getting the whole gang back together. I gotta assume that's people that he was a part of the Weapon X program with. Thinking, which I don't know, but is it Omega Red? Is it Lady Deathstrike? Is it Sabretooth? Is it Wade Wilson, Deadpool? Is it
Right.
I don't know. Is he going after them? Is he tracking them down? Is he doing what? But hopefully and I expect it to be just as great as the rest of the stuff, but
Right.
maybe a B story, something that is
Right.
going to take us and reconnect as we get later on. Because we got 5 more episodes in the season, from what I understand.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting because the I guess you could call it a B story or A minus story, where Storm goes and she has her walkabout with Forge and she loses her powers. You know, so it's not a B
Right,
story
right.
really, but I do think that this could be. I do think that this could eventually lead to something down the line. Maybe Weapon X, maybe the members of Weapon X help fight against Apocalypse.
Getting the
towards end of
adamantium back.
season. Getting the adamantium back. That's probably why he wants to file. Oh, where's Weapon X at? I need to get my adamantium back. Doesn't Wolverine want that back? You know what I mean? Because you got to go through TSA. You know what I mean? And like it's got to be a pain
I
in
thought
the
you were going to
ass
say
every time.
you got to go through pain, but this dude said
Yeah.
TSA. I think
mean-
Logan is cool. I don't think he's worried about TSA at this point. I think he's
Right, he's
figured
probably
that out,
you
or
got
they
the
haven't
X jet.
solved it. Yeah.
Yeah, he got the private
Yeah.
X jet. But
Yeah.
but the people that you mentioned, Mega Red, Sabretooth, Lady Deathstrike, and Deadpool, 3 of those 4 people he don't really mess with like that. 3 of those 4 people have been trying to kill him for the better part of a few decades, if you will. So I'm really interested in what band he's getting back together, because if that's the band, that's a very dysfunctional band. And
Yeah.
I'll be curious to see how that, especially Sabretooth, because
Yeah.
that episode, you remember that episode in the original series, the animated series, where it was revealed that Sabretooth was Senator Kelly's dad, as well as Rogue and Kurt's dad, and the mother was Mystique. All that was wrapped up, and yeah,
Drama.
drama,
Drama.
and that's what the X-Men are built off of.
Drama.
Familial drama, and people trying to.
And I am here for it.
Yep. Yeah.
Gang, I want to say thank you all for subscribing, for listening, for watching, for sharing clips, for leaving comments, for liking, subscribing. It really means a lot as the show continues to move forward. It's been great to see all the people who joined the crew, and I'm really thankful for all of you all. Please subscribe on YouTube, like this episode, hit the bell to get the notifications when we do the next one. But more than that, I would love it if you could share this show with somebody else that you think that would appreciate it. I think that's the biggest thing that you could do. If you're enjoying this, we want to expand the crew. We want to expand the group of people who are hanging out with us, having these conversations. We got more stuff coming up, more movies, more TV shows, and it's really been exciting to have you all join us, and we're excited to keep going and moving forward. I am at Octavius Was Here, everywhere, all over the place, and the show is at KRA-KOOM on YouTube. Please hang out with us there. Thank you again for hanging out with us. We'll see you next time. Peace.